Hi, I'm Sean McVeigh with Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and today I'm at Lancaster Archery Shop with PJ Riley. PJ, thank you so much for letting me come down today.
Absolutely, glad to have you.
PJ does a lot of the product reviews here for Lancaster Archery, which is extremely helpful if you go on their website and you want to learn about a product. This is the guy you're going to see. But today, he's going to help me go through some of your flagship compound bows that you traditionally use in a hunting situation or also in 3D.
We got some good ones lined up for you, Sean.
All right, so let's take a look at them.
We got the Mathews Halon, and this is the Halon 6-inch brace height. We got the Hoyt Defiant, and that's going to be the Hoyt Defiant 34, that's axle to axle. PSE Carbon Air. And then we got your Bear Archery BR33. Okay, last we got the Elite Impulse 34.
So today we're going to be shooting these bows. We're trying to get them around 65 pounds to compare with some of the others I've shot in the past. However, we got a little variation in the PSE. We only have it at 70 pounds today, and the Elite we have, I think that one's at 60.
60 pounds.
And they're all at 30-inch draw length. Some of the main things we're looking for are how easy does the bow come off the back wall. For someone in a hunting situation, there's always that concern of creeping, which obviously can throw off your shot. So that's one of the things we're looking at. We want to see how's the bow feel when it goes off and compared to some of the others. And so those are some of the main things. And then if we get some time later on, we're going to shoot them through the chronograph. And we're going to start off with the Mathews Halon. And apparently this is a big seller so far this year for you.
Yeah, now Sean, the interesting thing about this one is it's the Mathews Halon, and there'll be a Halon 5.67. That refers to the brace height. It's the same bow, it's just the brace height is different. This is the 6. That seems to be the one people really like.
Yeah. We're going to take a couple shots with it here.
I'll tell you.
Very nice. Shoot a couple more here. Stays on the wall pretty well. I'm going to come down one more time. Yeah, I like that. As you know, I'm a little bit longer draw length than this, but we're trying to shoot them closer to what more people would be. And it's nice and quiet. It's definitely a smooth bow. Immediate impression is this definitely is a sweet bow. You almost can't even hardly feel it when it goes off. It's nice and quiet, and it stays on the back wall pretty well. I would say this is my favorite Mathews bow I've ever shot. I like it a lot. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention on this, so one of the things I noticed right when I shot that is the grip felt more vertical, and so I mentioned it to you.
Yep, that's called the Mathews flat back grip. It's new this year. It does sit a little bit more vertically, as you mentioned.
Right, and so that's something to keep, you definitely want to shoot these bows to see how they feel for you, but I want to point that out. I noticed it as an archer, and you said you did too, but you can switch if you don't like
You can change out grips. Shrewd makes an aftermarket grip for the Mathews bows that if people like a little more,
a little bit more
palm in there, high-wristed, there are grips you can put.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're looking at these. So this is the Hoyt Defiant, and as I just was saying, I've shot a turbo version of this, but I'm curious to see how the draw cycle feels compared to that, because some archers aren't as concerned with all the speed, and they just want to enjoy the whole shot. They want it to feel nice coming back, and they want it to feel nice going off. And with your faster bows, sometimes those draw cycles can feel more aggressive.
Yeah, this one of course has the DFX cam, so this is a 34-inch bow, but because of the way the cam finishes, it shoots like a 37. So guys who like a longer bow,
this is a good option. Now the Mathews grip feels a little bit of like a rubbery feel to it. This has got a wooden grip. Wooden grips are a little more slippery, just when you put your hand on there. So again, these are just little things to keep in mind. Like, what are you looking for And that comes off the draw stop wall a lot easier, you know, than the Matthews, I would say. I'm just going to compare this to the Matthews since I just shot it, but you can feel this bow go off just a little bit more than you can with the Matthews, and it does seem just a hair louder as well. What's the price difference between this and the Matthews?
They're pretty much the same.
Much the same?
Yeah, they're right around.
But, you know, it does feel smooth in the draw cycle. So does the Matthews, though. A lot of people are brand specific. They like one particular brand over another. I've had people write to me, they're dead set on Matthews. Some people are dead set on Hoyt.
Yep.
But, you know, me, I grew up shooting Hoyt, and I'm more open to, I just want to see what's out there. And if I'm, you know, going to compare the two, I kind of lean toward the Matthews, but this is also a really nice bow. My group was a lot tighter, you know, just because I'm more used to the feel of this bow. So, you know, everyone's going to have certain things about their shooting, and it's what can you shoot the best, you know, and just shooting instinctively, standing here at the range, I was pretty good with this one.
Yeah, they're definitely nice bows.
All right, next up I'm going to shoot the PSE Carbon Air. When I picked this up, I was like, whoa, that is really light. So you said
it is. That's 3.2 pounds. So like compared to the Matthews Halon, that's a full pound less.
So
that's 4.5 pounds versus 3.2.
You can very much feel the difference. Now, again, these bows, I'm mainly shooting these concerning hunting situations. And once you load your bow up with accessories, it's going to get a lot heavier. However, you know, your starting point, the lower your starting point, the lower your ending point in some sense. But a lot of people, they're going to put stabilizers on to get the weight just where they want. But I will say, picking the bow up right off the rack, this thing is very light.
It is that.
Let's see how it shoots. I'd say this comes off the wall easier than the Matthews, but it's about equivalent to where the Hoyt's at. And, you know, being maybe the carbon, you can feel the bow go off a little bit more than, say, with the Hoyt. But Matthews has got the lead so far here today. But, I mean, this bow feels really nice, you know, just holding it. Just the lightness of it. If you're somebody who is looking for the lightest bow you can get, it's definitely worth trying. And you know, when the bow goes off, you do feel a little bit more, but you know, for some people that's not an issue. I just point these different things out so you can think about, okay, what's important to me? You can look at the handle and the grip on this one. It's more slanted than with the Matthews. It feels very comfortable to me. I'm used to shooting with a grip that's a little bit more angled like that.
Stabilizer on there will quiet some of that hand shock down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do the BR33, and when we compare this to the price tag of the PSE,
that one's $8.99.
$8.99 versus what was the PSE?
$1,500 because it's carbon bow.
Yeah. So price could be a factor for some people. But some people want that element of the carbon, with that neatness of it. Stays on the wall better than the PSE. I'd say, you know, out of Bear's bows, this is one of the nicer Bear bows I've shot. They've been coming along, I'd say, you know, in recent years. They've been improving their product. And with that price, you know, this bow's right up there, you know, as far as, you know, with the Hoyt. It's pretty quiet. It's a smooth draw cycle, and I think it's worth people checking out.
One of the uniquenesses of this bow is that this one is a bow that has a long adjustable draw range, where the others you got to change mods or whatever. This one, the draw length can go from 27 to 32, so you can pass this bow around.
Yeah, that's something I really like about a bow like this. I know Bowtex bows are like that as well, where you have the adjustability on there. You don't have to go buy different modules. That's always a pain in the butt for me. You know, when I get a different bow, I have a 31-inch draw. You're almost never going to find one in a 31-inch draw. You're always going out and buying modules.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But something like this, I don't have to go buy a bunch of modules. So, and that's something too to think about. Like when you're buying a bow, are you the type of person that shoots a bow for a year or two and then sells it and gets a different one? When it comes to saleability, this is going to be a little bit more marketable because it can fit a lot more people right off the bat. They don't have to worry about getting modules, and it's a nice shooting bow.
Yeah, I should mention the Hoyt also has adjustability. Not quite as much. It's 29 to 31 for this bow. They have different sized cams that dictate their draw length, and with this cam,
that's nice.
a number 3 cam. So that's 29 to 31.
Okay, yeah, they've gone back to that. That's nice to see. Because for years they were module.
Right.
And then, thank you, Hoyt, for going back to that. Because they used to do that, you know. Yeah. Next, we have the Elite Impulse 34.
Yep, this is, they make this bow in both a 30-inch axle-to-axle and 34-inch axle-to-axle. Same bow, just different axle-to-axle.
And me personally, I like a longer axle-to-axle bow because I hunt with my quiver on, and I leave it on, and I train and I shoot with the quiver on. And with those long arrows, with a shorter axle-to-axle bow, your arrows are hanging way down here. It's easy for them to get knocked off. Plus, they're a longer bow is a little bit, a little more stability, or easier to balance in some respects. I'm trying to let down right now. I mean, and one thing, it is amazing how elite bows do that. And that's something to consider, because if you intentionally are trying to let down, you can train yourself to relax muscles at full draw without worrying about creeping or letting down. And being relaxed can help you shoot more accurately, hold the pin steadier. So that aspect, it should not be overlooked. I mean, being able to stay on the draw stop wall like that, it is pretty incredible. This grip feels a little bit thinner than some of the others. And when this bow goes off, it feels great too. So the Elite does make a nice bow. In your experience, PJ, how's the tunability of them? Like, do you ever have to do much?
Very easy to tune. Basically, we're just getting the timing down, and then you get center shot. Very easy to tune.
I know some bows. Well, with the split limb bows, you have 4 limbs in a sense. You have to synchronize, and so with yoke systems and everything else, there's a little bit more involved with the tuning. This is just your solid limb, so you don't have all of that necessarily. But the Elite bow, it feels, now they are a little bit slower than some of the other bows, and that's one of the things, if you're trying to find a marriage with your speed and everything else, some of the other bows may have a little bit more to offer in that speed category, but for something that's a smooth shooting bow, it feels really nice the whole shot. The draw cycle feels enjoyably smooth. When it goes off, the bow feels really nice. There's not a lot of hand shock and things like that. And tunability wise, you don't have to worry a whole lot about that. So if you're somebody not as concerned about all the speed, but you're also not really into all the tuning, I mean, this is a great option, as far as that goes.
No question.
All right, PJ, now we've had a chance to shoot these bows and get a feel for them. How about we head over to the Chronograph and just kind of give a little comparison with the speed of them. We want to shoot them with a lighter arrow, around 350 grains or so.
Yep, we got one.
And then a little bit of a heavier arrow. What did we have for the weight on it?
The heavier arrow is going to be right about 420, 430. I'll have to weigh it when we get over there.
Okay, and that's going to give us an idea. The reason for that is the 350 grain arrow is closer to 5 grains per pound, which is your IVO rating. And that's what a lot of people are looking for as far as a comparison. However, there's a lot of people that prefer a heavier arrow for a hunting situation, and we want to give you a little bit of an idea what you can expect as far as the difference in the speed once you go to that heavier arrow.
Right.
Thanks, PJ. Let's head over there. This is the Matthews Halon Shoot, this is the, did you say 250 or 450?
433.
No, 430. 433 grain arrow. $289. What's that?
Because your first one was the hex. Oh no,
No,
you
no,
didn't
no.
shoot the hex yet.
I didn't shoot the hex.
Okay, so you got an 87, an 89. Yeah, okay.
So that was the 430 grain.
Yes.
Now we'll do the 350 grain.
$318.
318. And that's 30-inch draw.
65 pounds.
65 pounds.
Yep.
Just shoot one more just to make sure it's right around there. $319.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to the Hoyt Defiant, and we're going to start off with the 430 grain arrow. $285. $288. $287. All right, so this is the 350 grain arrow.
Just aim a little bit higher.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. 314.
314. We'll do one more with that lighter arrow.
Oh.
314.
Same thing.
Next is the PSE Carbon Air.
Now this is the one that's at 70.
Okay, this is at 70 pounds, so an additional 5 compared to the other bows. And this is the heavier arrow, 430 grain, 281. $283. $284. Now I'm going to shoot the 350 grain arrow. $311. I'm going to shoot that lighter arrow one more time. $312. This is the Bear BR33. 65 pounds. 30-inch draw. Heavier arrow, 430. $282. $284. $285. And here's the lighter arrow, 350 green. $311.
Matthews was the fastest, huh? 318.
Yep. Let me just shoot this one last time. This later one. $311. This is the Elite Impulse, and it is at 61 pounds, so just a hair less than the first two. 430 grain arrow. $273. $272. $274. Now I'm going to bump it to the lighter arrow. 350 grain. $298.
Oh, just a little bit. There you go.
298. Well, PJ, first of all, I gotta thank you again. It means a lot. I appreciate. I'm sure all the viewers appreciate Lancaster supporting me being able to do this for people. And I just want to say my personal pick of the day is the Matthews Halon. Overall, it's just a very smooth bow, and a little bit, it's got some speed still, but just when it goes off, it feels great. Everything about it feels really good, and I mean, I just like it overall. So that's my personal pick of the day.
It's been selling well for us, I can tell you that.
And I always encourage you, try to get out and shoot the bows yourself. This is just to give you some ideas as far as which ones you might want to really look at, especially if you're short on time. But the nice thing about Lancaster Archery is they have such a selection, and that's one of the reasons why I come here for this, is because you have so many things for us to try. And last year I came and did a video, and one of my viewers said, I'm putting that on my bucket list. He lives in Illinois. I want to make a trip to Lancaster Archery. So if you're vacationing in the area, if you don't live in the area, put it on the to-do list. And if you are, I drove almost 3 hours to be here today because it's worth it. So
it is key, like you mentioned, shooting them, because someone else could pick up that exact same bow and be like, man, I don't like that.
It's just not right. And that's just it. And
personal preference.
Right. And that's why today I picked this. I could have a viewer chime in, say I shot both of them and I went with the Hoyt. And that's the thing too, everyone has a personal preference, so make sure you get out there and shoot it. But for me today, my personal preference, the Matthews Halon.